Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon over there. Here's another video for the channel that was brought to me by one of the students in regards to Windows 11, and if it was actually the question came from Windows 11 being more up to date with relevant hardware and stuff like that. And then when we started actually checking this out, because I actually started with that same belief, I noticed that things that Windows 11 was adding, let's say last year, already existed on Linux for at least a year. And you'll see what I mean. So that on top of all the problems that have been happening with Windows 11, that really bad QA, quality assurance. Like they can't be pushing features and then those features are broken. Who the hell is testing this? So Um, I they gave me this link. Microsoft finally admits almost all major Windows 11 core features are broken. Are broken, horrible QA. I remember in the 90s and 80s, and even in the beginning of 2000, a lot of the software that you would build went through a really robust quality assurance process, like a very robust. Not that's why you saw it was rare to see games on those decades having versions like 1.1, 1.2, 1. It was very rare. Like something a bug to skip and end up on the player's side or the gamer's side was weird to say the least. Which is why when you downloaded a game at that time, or when you bought the floppy disk or the CD, that was the definite version, and that's it. Because that actually went through a lot of testing. Okay. Currently, that just sucks. You can see games, especially EA games, Rockstar games, and all those. They just push it for the money, and then you know how it is now. Okay, a more old school testing kind of thing. The current ones are just money related testing. So anyway, like Microsoft, you get this crap here. I find this one's funny, which is this is where the true cost of obfuscating your code base with vibe crap. Oh my god, is going to become apparent. If the AI can't fix, I'm very anti AI. Like I know when to use and when to avoid it. Then a human has to step in and understand the code which was created by this crap without handover and refactor, etc. So we started digging, and I found, for example, NeoWin, which is a very, very, very old site that's like for Onyx, but very, very old. Microsoft finally admits almost all major Windows 11 core features are broken with an update, and they mention here, everything that has happened with the 365, which many of my clients actually use. Sorry for them and all the problems, and it feels more like when ChatGPT or I don't know which one answers, "Oh, you're right," when you find a problem and they don't fix it, they just expand the problem with more problems. So it feels something like that, especially with the whole thing that they're going through, making sure that you can log into Windows 11 without being connected to the internet. And this one is just worse. Like if you know Explorer.x, shell host, you know that these are major, major components of Windows from Windows 95 up to here. So that's really bad there. I wasn't aware of most of this. I'm not very Windows like. Here's a new win up to November 20th with a failure on Microsoft 365, and then again and then again and then if we actually go to the X, the Microsoft 365 status, it just becomes weird. Like, look at this. I'm just gonna go scroll down a little bit here. December 9, and then another one, and then yep, and you bet, and yes, nope, oh my god, oh, and we can keep on going. I'm pretty sure before the end of the year, something's gonna happen. Okay, here's another one from New Way, Microsoft 365, more like Microsoft 404. um, and yeah, so a lot of the services are failing. Then we come to the Windows Wikipedia, Windows 11 kind of thing. And one of the things that I was searching for here was the um, the updates, because I learned that Windows 7, 10, and 11 were getting not getting the service packs that I remember back in the days. That they're getting, or maybe they are, but they're getting like updates, release cycles kind of thing, like Linux related. So here's it's the first major update to Windows 11 and carries this and blah blah blah. There's a lot of good things here for Windows, and then I suddenly see this Bluetooth LE audio with, by the way, with the LC3 codec there, and you see that it's half the second half of 2022. I recommend pausing this video and searching when Linux actually got this, and you'll see what I mean. If we keep on going down, especially with blues on Linux, if we keep on going down, if there's a lot of like what the hell, native support for additional, for real? I wasn't aware of that. And then we keep on going down, and they're pumping this AI stuff here while missing really obvious things like this. Okay, if we keep on going down, I saw, or they mentioned here something about Windows 7. Oh, Wi-Fi 7. There support for Wi-Fi 7, and we're talking what year? The second half of 2024. And for the Linux users, you know that we've had that for a while now. Obviously, not the whole scope or even the MLO thing there, which is already there now. But where did I leave it? I lost it. But anyway, oh, there it is. Okay. Um, but it's being there. So not only is Linux, I recall 10 years ago, Linux was off key. It wasn't up to date with what hardware Windows supported. Now it's the other way around. Completely the other way around. And not only the other way around in regards to latest hardware support, but also the gaming performance on Linux in multiple distros. It's much better than the Windows equivalent on Windows 11 with the same hardware, by the way, with the same hardware. And not only that, but you get much faster support, optimizations, etc. on Linux without the crisis of, oh my god, a virus, a Trojan, malware in general. Okay, a worm, etc. I don't know what the hell kind of animals Windows gets now. Okay, and you get more freedom, of course. I mean, you're not forced into logging into internet for any of the distributions on Linux. I mean, and they don't like, it's much more transparent. Okay? So you got better hardware support, you got better performance in general. There are some exceptions again for some games. Those games are actually either on bad with Windows or they're, I would say, malevolent in regards to trying to not, EA games. Okay, that's the main one there. Trying not to make sure that people can play on Linux, especially with the anti-cheat crap that they don't know how to handle. But it was interesting, and that's why I'm making this video, to find out that um, Windows is not only up to date with hardware, they're just making a lot messier the experience of a Windows user, making it to a point where Linux just feels more stable, basically more up to date in every way. So I would think that the CEO Windows, Microsoft in this case, um, it's a Linux user because he's doing a hell of a great job in promoting Linux through horrible Windows experiences here, and focusing on just stuff like updates to the cache flyout and quick settings. Is that more important than all the crap that just happened in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, in the last 3 months? So you get my point. So I hope this video helps in pushing you to, without being so much scared, into testing Linux um, in general, yeah. And there's a video that I made about which Linux distributions you can use, which are easier to, for the experience sake, or for anybody that's very, um, they want to actually jump in Linux and learn and make mistakes and learn from those and blah. That same video will help you get to more complex Linux environments that can actually teach you, and you'll see immediately the performance jump from. For example, I have one of my laptops actually came in Asus uh, tooth came with Windows 11. Horrible experience. The laptop was not as fast as you can imagine it. The moment that I removed that crap and I actually installed, at that moment we installed Ubuntu 24.04 because it just came out. We're talking almost 3 times faster in every way. Booting, uh, turning off, loading apps, anything, everything. Everything was between 2.5 to 3 times faster in general for all that. All my hardware here, all my computers, they all use Ubuntu in this case, or basically Linux in general. We can't have Windows. I mean, I'm not gonna go through that whole process that I went through 20 something years ago. So if you're a Windows user and you want to dive in for the experience, remember you can always have Windows side by side with Linux if Windows lets you, by the way. Because do know, Windows, when they do these updates, they also check if you have Linux in there and they actively try to break it. Okay, so if you do an update, one of this, whatever it's called, updates, they most likely will break your Linux version, and then you just have to install it again. Something that doesn't happen if you update Linux. It respects whatever else you have there. That's something to take into consideration about the cultural behavior of the two um, ecosystems. Okay, how Microsoft and everybody that works over there thinks when they code those things in there, and how Linux works and behaves. You can have multiple distributions, different distributions on the same computer, Arch Linux, OpenSUSE, Ubuntu, Fedora, everything on the same computer, and they're gonna just respect each other. Okay, you put Windows in there, Windows just try to kill everything else that's in there. So take that into consideration, and take that into consideration, and also the fact that I'm actually doing this video through a Linux environment, without any issues, any problems. Here's, with an Nvidia that's supposedly horrible and it's not compatible, and it breaks and blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's it. Analyze how you're gonna be spending the next couple days, weeks, months on your Windows machine. Think about the experience and the learning process that you will have here and how it would change your life for December 2026. Okay. And for the people that have old computers, and not even that super old, but I've still got friends and family that have old ones like this one. You Windows 11 is not gonna work there, and so on and so forth. So that's it. Big hugs, think positive, and think about it. Okay? Bye.